Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Morgan, and this is the first of a three-part series. My new series, The Truth About Healing, is going to take you through the journey of what healing is actually like and all the parts of it. This first episode today, we're going to talk about what is going on in your life kind of before the I'm done moment, I'm ready to heal. What is happening in the avoidance part when we're actually avoiding doing the work. So we will detail that, why you feel stuck, etc. In part two, we're going to go into what happens when you make the decision. What is normal for you when you're getting to that point where you have decided to heal, you're moving forward, you're taking action? What are the things that you can expect during that part? And then part three, we're going to talk about the messy middle, healing for life, and all of the things that you can expect when you are in it and you're actually doing the work and you are healing. This is an important series to me because nobody talks about this stuff. I feel like there's all this information out there, and for a lot of us, we just go, what is this even supposed to look like? How do I feel internally? That's what I want to help you understand. What's going on internally, emotionally, as you're going through your healing process. So I know this series is going to help you feel less alone and hopefully understand the things that you're going through as you're actually healing. Obviously, if you're listening to this show, I know you're on a healing journey. You're tuning in because you want to work on yourself. You want to work on having happy, healthy, loving, secure relationships. So, this series is going to really, really help you understand your journey and how to move through it with grace and compassion. And most importantly, to stay in it, to continue healing. This is where I see so many people go wrong is they kind of start the process and then they fall off. So what does it look like to go through all the stages of healing, and what are the things that you can expect? By going through this series, you'll be prepared so that when these things do come up, you'll know just what to do to approach it. So I'm coming at you today. I'm in Florida. My husband and I are here for the winter. Something really fun we're doing together. We are not having a traditional honeymoon. We have come from Montana. We loaded up the Toyota Tacoma with all our stuff and two dogs, and we're here at a property that he owned prior to us getting back together. And we're working on it. We're having to do all the, paint everything and fix everything. And it's been really fun. This is the kind of thing I love doing with a partner. And I'm so grateful that we both enjoy it. The idea of a fun Saturday is getting a room painted, planning, what we're going to do on this wall, etc. Anyways, I'm having a really fun time. And we finally have a studio set up. I'm so grateful. He brought my mic, my camera, the lights, everything, and he set it up for me. This is just one of the amazing things about having a partner that really roots for you and cheers you on and supports you and is good with details and the setup. And thank God I never have to put together another bed frame by myself because I'm not that person. I'm not going to read the instructions. I want to get it done as quickly as possible. So thank God that my husband is the detail oriented, reading every little piece of the directions and getting everything put together. Everybody needs that counterpart, right? We need that person to balance us out. So I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful. Here I am. And we have so much to talk about. And actually, before I get into this episode, I want to let you know I have a big announcement coming on Friday. I'm going to do a bonus podcast episode. It'll be part 2 of this series. And I have a really big announcement. You're not going to want to miss this. This is an emotional one for me. I can't wait to share it with you. So I know what a lot of you are thinking, and it's not that. Okay. but I can't wait to share it with you. This is a really big announcement. And I think you're just gonna want to know. You're gonna want to know. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's dive in. So step one on your healing journey is when you start to have awareness that something's not right. You're repeating patterns. You're not really that happy. Maybe you're aware that there's a lot of numbing that you're doing in your life. This day and age, that can look like you're spending all your time watching Netflix or drinking or using marijuana or shopping. Um, or on social media. You're spending all your time distracting yourself, numbing yourself, and you just have this general lack of fulfillment, lack of contentment in your life. And maybe, just maybe, you're also realizing, huh, I am not where I want to be. I know what I'm capable of. You have this awareness of deep down, hey, I know that I'm worthy of feeling good about myself, that I'm worthy of being excited when I wake up to start the day. I think that's such an underrated measurement of healing and of happiness. When you wake up, are you excited about the day? you know um and maybe you're aware that that's not you, and that you see these other people in happy healthy relationships, and you're going, oh my gosh, I have that one friend that I talk to from high school occasionally, but I don't really have community. I don't really have close relationships, and I certainly don't have a romantic partner that I'm in love with and that is a healthy relationship. And so you're doing this thing, you're comparing yourself, you're noticing that you don't really feel great about your life, and you are becoming aware that you are not where you want to be. And in this stage of healing, something that is so common is one, more avoidance. So whatever you're currently using to cope and numb, you do more of it. So it's like it becomes really, really uncomfortable. You're realizing you're not where you want to be. So then you numb more, drink more, watch more Netflix, et cetera, whatever your form of numbing is, right? You do more of it because now you're uncomfortable that you're realizing you're not where you want to be. The second thing that's really common, and I have to talk about this, when people are starting to become aware that they want to heal, they'll do this thing where they just keep consuming more and more and more information without actually taking action. So I love those of you who've been listening to this show for years. And, I understand that, hey, you're listening, you're getting more knowledge. And at the same time, I want to say lovingly that at a certain point, more knowledge is not actually going to help you, right? A lot of times what people do when they become uncomfortable with where they are, they start doing things that gives them the false sense that they're making progress. Reading all the books, listening to all the podcasts, even thinking about things that they could do that then relieves some of the pain, because the brain doesn't know the difference. The brain is like, oh, you're getting all this information, we're making progress, when in reality, nothing has changed in your life, right? More information, more knowledge actually doesn't really change anything. It might relieve some of the pain temporarily because your brain is feeling hopeful, which is good. And this is why I don't want to discredit this stage. We need to get a little bit of hope, educate ourselves. Obviously, listening to a show like this, you start to realize, oh, it is possible. I can heal. But I don't want you to get stuck in that place. So this is a little loving nudge. Don't get stuck in the information overload. I'm just going to listen to every podcast, watch every TikTok, watch every, Instagram reel, and save every single carousel post that I see that's about attachment styles. Like, just don't get stuck there because your brain will lie to you and tell you that you're making progress. More information is actually not progress. It's actually not transformation. Information's really helpful. Once again, it helps give us awareness. It can help make us really hopeful, but it is not transformation. What else is going on at this stage? You start to feel a little bit of a war between, okay, I know who I am. I know where I am right now. And it's this whole thing about the devil you know versus the devil you don't. It's easy to get stuck in my book, Love Magnet, which is on Amazon, by the way. I don't talk about it enough. I don't know why. I always forget to mention the book. But I have a chapter called The Comfort Zone Quicksand, you know. Um, it's easy to get pulled back into the identity that you're comfortable with, the version of you that's not working on themselves, the version of you that hasn't decided to heal, because psychologically there's fear with the unknown. So there's that fear of, well, who am I going to become if I start to heal? And then this is really fascinating to me. But when we look at, evolutionary psychology, social psychology, we realize that humans are really, really, really prioritizing at all times. We're prioritizing staying part of the group, staying part of the group. So there's this fear that if I become different, am I going to be rejected by the group? Is the group no longer going to want me? Right. So there's this unconscious pull for you to just stay the way that you are so that you can still be part of the group. Some of you may not realize this, but the people you're hanging out with, the people you're closest to, even your friends, your family, people in your life, if you are associating their approval, associating being like them as part of your survival, then you may be holding yourself back from real change, right? In this stage of your healing journey, you're prioritizing your comfort zone. And then but there's this small voice. I wonder how many of you listening are here. There's this small voice that says, but what if I went for it? What if I did actually do the work on myself that allowed me to step into my highest and best identity? What if I did do Dr. Morgan's program and I rewired my brain and I became securely attached and emotionally regulated and confident and ready to attract the love of my life? What if I did go for it? There's that small voice, right? And the thing is, when you're in this stage, it's like a war. There's the comfort zone, and then there's a small voice of, hey, but what if you did change? And deep down, you know that if we do the test of where we go, the 80-year-old sitting in the rocking chair, I want you to do this with me. You're 80 years old, you're sitting in the rocking chair, and you look back on this period of your life. What are you going to be thinking about your decision, right? Are you going to go, oh my gosh, I am so, so happy that I didn't change, that I didn't grow. I'm so happy that I wasn't willing to work on myself. I'm so happy that I just stayed the same because I was too afraid that my friend group would change or that people wouldn't like me. I'm so happy I based my life on decisions around what would people think of me. No, that's not it at all. You guys know this. When you're 80 years old, you're going to look back and you are going to be so grateful for the times that you were willing to make uncomfortable decisions, where you were willing to put yourself outside of your comfort zone, where you were willing to fight for the highest and best version of you. Okay. So I think this is a tough thing in this journey here. We talked about that fight between the comfort zone, the version of you you're comfortable with, and your highest and best self. The other thing that's going on before you make the decision to heal, and I want to be really careful with how I say this, but I think you'll get this, is that there's really things that you actually enjoy about not about not showing up as your highest and best self. There's those parts of you that are still being rewarded. There's the dopamine hits. I think about toxic relationships this way, of it being like a drug, right? There's some of you that are still addicted to the drug of unpredictable relationships, of the high highs and the low lows, the inconsistent communication. So before you're deciding to become secure, there's that part of you that's like, oh, but what about the rush? What about the fun that I'm having? What about the crazy, anxious avoidant dynamic, intimate sex that I get to have when I'm not healed and, I'm engaging in behaviors that have those high, high, high dopamine hits and then the low, low lows, right? I think, once again, this is not necessarily a conscious choice, but there's people that are deciding not to heal because they're actually still addicted to the high highs and the low lows. And I think I have so much compassion for you, by the way, if that's you or if that's been you. That was definitely where I was at, where it was a combination of all these things, and I was enjoying myself, you know, but I also wasn't. I think this is the hard thing. It's like, yeah, but there was also those really low lows, right? And in those moments, I was feeling like, okay, something has to change. But in this first stage, this is kind of where you are. You're trying to you are, getting awareness. You're educating yourself. You're taking in all the information, and it's making you feel slightly better. You are going back and forth between your old identity and your new identity, and you're feeling that pull to stay in the comfort zone. And then there's that part of you that's probably still kind of addicted to your current patterns in life, in relationships, the unpredictable nature of it all. Because when we are insecurely attached, anxious, avoidant, disorganized, it's not just our relationship area of life that is on the dopamine roller coaster. It's all areas of our lives, right? So I think this is important to note, that this dopamine addiction, the unpredictable nature, intermittent reinforcement, right? The thing that gets people addicted to gambling, that's showing up in all areas of your life, and that can be addicting, right? You're craving the high highs. So this is where we are in stage 1. And I just want you to know that, once again, learning more, getting more information, that's not going to actually make the change for you. That's not going to actually lead to transformation. If you are listening, you're like, yep, that's me, and I'm ready to do the work. Go apply to the Empowered, Secure, Loved program. You deserve to have the tools to move forward. You deserve to have the support to not only get information, but to have transformation. It is time. It is time. If you start now, then by 2026, you'll be going into the new year with a whole new foundation. And I don't know about you, but I've heard from so many people that 2025 has been a doozy. We're ready. We're ready for a new year. And I want you to head into this next year with everything that you need to not only attract the love of your life or to build the relationship you've always wanted, but for you to be able to show up as your highest and best self, that emotionally regulated, confident, securely attached you, where life just gets to flow, right? And you're attracting all the things that you're deserving of. I believe you deserve to go into 2026 feeling that way, but nothing changes until you change, right? It's so important to know that. So go apply to the program. The link is in the show notes. It takes 2 minutes. I would be so excited to help you with this work on yourself. Before we wrap up, I just want you to know you're not alone. If you're in this place where you haven't made the decision and you know that you need to, but you're just kind of comfortable where you're at, you know? I'll never forget when, I had all of the self-help books on next to my bed and I was reading them all. And I had a doctorate in clinical psychology and I was helping all of my clients heal, and my clients were having these amazing relationships. And there was all this stuff that I knew, but that I hadn't actually embodied, right? I wasn't actually embodying secure attachment. And my dating life was a mess and it was causing me a ton of pain. And it finally clicked for me at some point, right? When things got painful enough, which we'll talk about in part 2, when things got painful enough, then I was finally able to decide to heal. But for you, I want you to know, what if you could just decide now? Like, my hope for you is that you don't have to hit rock bottom. Can we avoid rock bottom, please? If I can help more people avoid rock bottom, that would be great. Because I want you to know you have the power to just decide today and say, okay, I am worthy of having great relationships. I am worthy of secure, loving, stable relationships. I'm deciding today. Um, the other thing, this is so funny, you guys. Okay, so I'm calling myself out, right? Like, here I am calling you guys out. I'm calling myself out. There's an area of my life that I'm working on. I think it's no secret that I am really excited to step into becoming a mom. And here's the reality. There's so much information, right? There's everything out there about how to still get pregnant when you have PCOS like I do. There's all kinds of things about raising kids and how to do that well. Everything about how to deal with postpartum and health. And oh my gosh, the information is insane. Um, just last night, I was on my phone and I was talking. I'm like laying in bed and I have my phone and I'm like talking to my phone, right? And then my husband comes out and he's like listening to me talk to my phone, and I'm saying, I'm talking and I'm saying, what kind of sex positions help when you're trying for a certain type of gender? And then my husband is like, who the are you talking to? It was hilarious. And I had to tell him, I'm having a conversation with ChatGPT. Okay. Chat and I are talking here. But it's one of those things. And by the way, please, I know it's like an old wives' tale. I know that there's like no empirical evidence that certain positions actually have an impact on what type of gender. I was legitimately just curious. But here's the deal. We are living in this era where information is everywhere. And also, I think it's easy to, how do I even put this into words? It's easy to like say all the right things, to intellectualize everything. And it's so much harder to actually embody it. And there are so many people, there's people even in the dating world who you meet them and they think that they're securely attached, but they just know what to say, right? They've just intellectualized it. They're not actually embodying it. They're still carrying around their past trauma. So here I am doing the thing that I'm telling you guys that we need to stop doing, which is just getting more information, having silly conversations with ChatGPT, right? Like, no, I need to actually get the support. I need to work with my person that I worked with before, and get out my little ovulation tracker, pee on a stick thing. Like, I need to actually take the action to embody stepping into motherhood instead of reading more books, getting more information, and having more conversations with ChatGPT, because that's not doing anything. So this is what I'm saying to you, especially in this day and age when information is everywhere, intellectualizing is so common, where being able to pretend like you're securely attached is something that so many people are doing. They're just trying to say all the right things. I want to encourage you, be different. Be the one that actually embodies the healing, that embodies the change. You're so, 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 so worthy of it. And speaking of ChatGPT, I don't know if you knew this, but I have worked really, 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 really hard on this. when you join the program, you actually have access to Dr. Morgan AI. This is my brain, and I poured everything into it. I mean, it has every single podcast episode, coaching sessions in its consciousness. This is so crazy. It has my book, it has everything. It has my intellectual property uploaded into its brain. And you get it. You get it when you join the program. It's in our app. It's super easy to access. So when you have that question at 3 a.m. because you can't sleep and you need to know if you should text this person back, you can put it into Dr. Morgan AI and it will tell you. And what I like about this is it's not ChatGPT. ChatGPT is designed to tell you what you want to hear. I have so much fear around people using ChatGPT as their therapist. I can understand getting information from it. I think it can be a great tool. However, it really is designed to tell you what you want to hear, even if you tell it not to, right? And it's a false sense of intimacy, like I just have so many thoughts about AI and social media, and it's all pseudo connection. It's like the junk food of connection, right? We need to be eating healthy, balanced meals, real connection with real humans. That's how we actually get our needs met, right? Social media, AI, talking to your ChatGPT, that is the junk food of human interaction. So obviously it's a tool. I'm not bashing it. I think it's awesome. Wow, it's amazing what technology has advanced into. There's ways to use it where it's super helpful. And please don't let it replace human interaction. And for God's sake, don't let it replace your therapist or actually getting help from a licensed professional or going through a coaching program. You are deserving of help that is going to give you the tough love that you need, and that's going to actually give you what you need to change, not just tell you what you want to hear. Okay. Anyways, that was a random tangent. But I just want you to know, like, I'm right there with you. I'm telling you this. Stop just sitting in the uncomfortable decision and not making any progress and doing that thing where you feel like you're making progress just because you're learning more. Stop doing that and decide that you are going to heal. Decide that you get to be different, that you get to have healthy relationships. And that's what part 2 is going to be all about, is what happens, what are the common things that people go through once they make the decision, what comes up. And I'm going to talk about what's happening psychologically for you, what's happening emotionally, what happens in your life, what's really common for people. We'll be talking about real talk, what happens when you make the decision. And this will be a very vulnerable, real episode. So stay tuned. That's dropping Friday. And then we'll finish the series on Monday. And that's going to be all about, okay, so you're on your healing journey. Now what? So you made the decision and you're doing it. And you're in that messy middle, lifelong commitment of healing. And what does that actually look like and feel like? Okay. So I love this series. I hope that this gives you some awareness. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. As always, I love to hear from you. Please shoot me a message on Instagram at Dr. Morgan Coaching. Let's connect and share this episode with somebody who needs it. All right, y'all. I'm sending you so much love. And as always, wishing you high self worth and great relationships. I'll talk to you soon.